We'll wait till he gets back here then. All right, we'll go ahead and get ready to start right here. Everyone will please rise as we call our meeting to order. Councilwoman Richardson has a request here.
Just wanted to, just a moment of silence for a former council member, Richard Andrews, served his town proudly from 79 till 87. He was one of the founders of the rescue squad, served on the rescue squad for many years, just an exceptional gentleman. He passed a couple of weeks ago. Just wanted to make a note of that in just a moment of silence for Mr. Andrews.
Thank you for that. If everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Everyone can be seated. Thank you for coming out here tonight on Tuesday, October 5th for our October meeting here in 2021. Everyone has before them here on the council the agenda that has been presented to you. If you have any additions or changes to the agenda at this time, I'll entertain those additions or changes.
I'd like to, in other business, municipal vehicle tax.
Municipal vehicle tax.
Mr. Mayor, just a very brief update on the agricultural fair that we had this weekend, just some statistics.
Okay.
Very brief.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add an event under my report if it's appropriate.
Yes, sir. No problem there. With that being done, I'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda for tonight.
So moved.
And a second. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that. Thank you very much. You also have before you the minutes of our regular meeting from September 7th. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands of that. 5-0, and we will approve those minutes. Moving on to agenda item number 4 is our public comments. So this is citizens are encouraged to comment at this time on anything that is listed on tonight's meeting agenda. Time is limited to 3 minutes. When you come up to the podium, just introduce yourself. If there is anyone in the crowd that would like to come up, there being no movement, we'll close our public comment out. And we'll move right into historic preservation nomination. And I'm going to let our town manager introduce that part of it.
Certainly, and as we get started, I've invited Mr. Brian Edwards, a familiar face, to assist to answer any questions that the council may have. But council included in your packet was 2 cover sheets and a related facts sheet about the National Registry of Historic Places and our nomination for a historic district in the downtown business area of Sparta. In particular, the town has a building and a parcel that is being considered as part of the district. It is the current visitor center / Chamber of Economic Development building and the walkway that adjoins that structure. In totality, the district is really just the first blocks of North and South Main Street and East and West Whitehead Street and the structures within that area. This district is really meant to serve a twofold purpose, and that is to preserve the history of downtown Sparta and ensure that that is reflected on and preserved for future generations. Secondly, it does provide some economic opportunity for private individuals that may own those structures if they were to revamp, overhaul, or etc. There are some tax break incentives that they may be entitled to. So for the town and the structures within that district, I do feel that it is a very attractive and beneficial thing for us to pursue. It doesn't really impact our building as far as tax incentives, etc. We don't pay taxes, so we don't get that credit. So there's really no downside to the town to proceed with this nomination. I do think it is important that the town provide support for the establishment of this district and would request that the town authorize myself to draft a letter on behalf of the council supporting this nomination that can be forwarded to the historic committee that will be considering approving our district. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Again, Brian is here. Should there be some questions I'm not immediately familiar with.
Does this put any kind of restrictions on what can be done in the building?
It doesn't, so long as there's not federal or state funding used to make those improvements. Now, quite honestly, just given the history and the age of those buildings, if we were going to get state or federal dollars to complete a rehab, they're going to institute restrictions anyway, just because it's an eligible parcel. So we're not going to lose any ability that we don't already kind of have hanging in the balance.
For normal and general maintenance, there's nothing that falls under that criteria.
As long as we're paying for it.
So you need a motion to approve this?
I do.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Show of hands on that motion is 5-0.
And we're approving you writing a letter in support.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6 tonight is the town website discussion, and Councilwoman Richardson, if you'd like to lead that discussion.
Mr. Mayor, once again, on the table, I'm still gathering data. Apologize for that. Hopefully I'll have that at the next meeting.
Number 7 on our agenda tonight is the consideration of low-income household water assistance program participation. Our manager Ryan Wills, if you'll explain on that for me, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Council also included in your packet was really a plethora of documents that outlines a low-income household water assistance program. And what this is it's a local program that is utilizing federal and state funding to assist households that are determined to be low income, which we know are most susceptible to the fluctuating economy. It allows us to partner with DSS to identify individuals that have fallen behind on their water and sewer utility payments. We can work with DSS to identify those, and then DSS can assist them with paying their balance using these funds. So what you're approving is for us to essentially partner locally with DSS, exchange information about outstanding balances, let them make a determination, and then we'll receive payment if they're determined to meet this program. I certainly recommend that we do it. It's a good way to assist low-income households while also recouping our expenses for provision of services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll see. Question, do we have very many people we fall in this category?
Yes, from time to time, yes.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that. Before we get into the manager's report, you also have before you the financial report from our financial officer. If you have any questions, I'll let you ask our finance officer, Peggy Shope. Y'all have anything? Everything looks good to go. I think we still haven't got our numbers or monies from August, is that right? For finances, for the taxes, okay, from the county.
No.
So we still need that. That has not been put into the system there as of yet. There being no questions, we'll move right on into our manager's report. And Ryan, if you want to take it over from there.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, I'm sure you're all aware, we had some discussion regarding this, but in August, we had a water main breakdown in Trojan Village. Unavoidably, when a water line of that size burst, it's going to create a little damage, and it did to the property owner's parking lot. Myself and some of the maintenance staff have met with the property owner, and we have evaluated the extent of that damage, looked at potential repairs and how we restore that. Included in your packet was the lowest bid we received to address and make that repair. Understandably, none of the pavement has been taken up, so we can't say 100% for sure that once we get in and start milling and repairing that this isn't going to grow somewhat. We have a good feeling that we have the majority, but you will see that that cost is over the $5,000 threshold. So I request that you approve this invoice and allow us to begin that work. And if the costs go above this, I can bring it back to the council for final approval, or if you guys would like to set a limit. Either way, we just need to get this done before cold weather sets in.
And this money for this repair, that's coming out of PAL bill, right?
It is unfortunately not. It will
It's not.
come out of water because it
It
was
was,
Water, so.
water. It will come out of professional services, which we feel can absorb this.
So you don't have any idea whether this will be the actual number or not?
This is the actual number for what we've identified. There may be a little more once we get under there. The problem is the water has eroded under the pavement, and until we dig it up, we don't know how far that goes.
I mean, once you get in there, I'm gonna tell you to fix it. Ain't no use in covering it back up and then digging it back up. So, I mean, I'll make a motion to approve this number, but I also would make a motion that unless it's astronomical, that you have the ability, a power to finish the job once you get in there.
Okay,
We don't have any option but to fix it, correct?
that is correct. It is our damage.
So, but like I say, I'll make the motion that we approve this number with the town manager having the option to go higher not a whole lot, hopefully, if necessary.
If it makes Peggy cringe, I'll come back.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion and Terry has a second. All in favor, a show of hands on that, please.
I
5-0.
want you to get in there and find out that instead of 5 feet, it's 20 feet and that kind of a deal. So we've had this problem before. So let's fix it for once and at least in my tenure.
I will say this, that night that it was a leak, was the night that I went down there myself and it was a gully washer underneath that pavement.
Well, there's a lot of water goes through there.
It's a lot, was a lot of water, so. I think we continue there.
Council second item is, an actual invoice, for, sealant that has been applied to the pavers as part of, streetscape. If you've noticed over the last year, they have developed that white film on top. That is a result of those bricks absorbing water, salt from, our attempts to remove snow. That absorbing water and salt laying on it actually starts to freeze, crack type cycle, as well as eroding the bricks. I think this was some discussion very early on that the bricks needed this. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but we were able to catch it very early and prevent any long-term damage. If you've noticed, most of the white on the bricks is now gone. So I think we caught it early. There was a couple places we had to actually make a couple applications, which is why this invoice slid right into that $5,000 threshold. We originally thought it was going to be a little lower. We do have the funds to handle this, but it being at that $5,000 mark, I do need council approval for Peggy to pay that, or I'm gonna have to.
How long's the silver last on that, Brian?
3 years.
3
He
years.
said we need to do it again in 3 years. He recommended that we evaluate it after we've had all the fall traffic and we had snow removal to see if there's any areas. But he felt this initial cost was for the couple applications. If we maintain it regularly, we can do one application and keep the cost much lower.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and a second on Cole. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that.
The last item for me, council, is a list of events. There is requested that a fireman's parade occur on October the 7th at 7 p.m. Down Main Street. They will close the Main Street for that for a very short period. So they will need council approval to host that parade.
Chief, you know what time that starts for the 7 p.m. that night? So I have a motion to approve and a second over here. All in favor, show of hands for the parade, please. 5-0 on that one.
The second event is the high school homecoming parade, which is Friday, October the 8th at 1:30. They're gonna leave the high school and hopefully end down near Trojan Village. And they'll, obviously, Chief will be assisting and controlling traffic, but we do need council approval.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands on that. 5-0 for the homecoming parade.
Third event is a trunk or treat for the Allegheny Partnership for Children on October the 22nd from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. They're going to do it on We Care Avenue, and they will be closing that, but there's hardly anything on that stretch of road, but they will be closing that, so it requires council approval.
How's
Just, and you may not have this knowledge, but how does that work? I mean, if they're closing where people gonna park and,
Chief,
It's gonna be a drive-through. We're gonna close both ends of Week Care Avenue, and they'll drive in on one and circle into the Allegheny Partnership for Children, and we'll circle them out on the Sparta bypass.
and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but were they aware that there was a trunk or treat the following weekend on Halloween as well? That happens every year.
The partnership just won't do something for the children that uses their facility.
Gotcha. Okay.
I like that motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that. So-
and lastly, to allude to that trunk or treat, there was some plans to have a drive-through trunk or treat that is a SRC Allegheny Chamber-esque event. After doing some research, the chamber has started looking at an actual walkthrough event. And the idea, which I think it's a great idea, is to have it downtown on Main Street, have the participants that want to give out candy come out on the sidewalk, allow the kids to be downtown. We don't have a firm date or time, and this is kind of preliminary, but should we allow that, they do want to close traffic downtown for that time period. So we wanted to get in front of the council for your approval if this is the direction that they choose to take the event.
What's the time period?
Yes.
And,
October 30th,
but what, how
5 to 7.
5 to 7. And it'd kind of be like squaring off of music on Main, stuff like that, right, Chief?
Have you been in contact with the merchants?
A few of them,
And they're,
and they're very positive.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0 on that.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report. Thank you.
I think we also have October 16th, I believe it is, the Pumpkin Festival in Krauss Park. And that begins at what time, Charlie? 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 that afternoon. So lots of activities for the kiddos to go over into the park on October 16th with the Pumpkin Festival. Just a couple of tidbits before I go into other business. This also is Cancer Awareness Month, so you'll be seeing some of the ball teams around wearing pink in honor of that for cancer awareness. I want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to some of the following groups, the bicycle guys that come through here, the cycles. I think it was over 800 people that were camped out or cycling or doing something with the organization this past weekend. So we had a lot of folks in there. Want to say a big thank you to everybody that had their hands in the music in the park, music on Main, the Ag Fair. All of these things right there brought people into our community. And we are very blessed to have so many volunteers that are willing to get out here and work and do these things. Give a special shout out to the Sparta Lights and Entertainment crew for getting our lights on, getting them back up and running. Appreciate what they're doing. Our town looks beautiful. We're getting more and more people to come here with these events. And I'm just very, very thankful for the outreach and outpouring of the volunteerism and the community effort that we are giving continually here in our town and our county. I also want to make mention that we continue to work on the splash pad. This is a Town of Sparta project. You can donate at any time here at Town Hall, or you can mail in your donation to P.O. Box 99, Sparta, North Carolina. Just title it Splash Pad. We are continuing to take those donations, and we continue to make great progress in making this something that's going to happen next summer. We're going to have that splash pad here for our kiddos here at the park, and we're going to have a good one on top of that. Just one more thing before we go into other business is that myself, Brian Edwards, who is here tonight, and Ryan Wimleth all went to the new assisted living senior care out here on Chestnut Grove Church Road. They have a fantastic facility out there. We welcome them with open arms. I, for one, was very impressed with the inside, the outside, the whole domain of what they have brought to our community, which was much needed. And they're going to be up to housing almost 70 patients or 70 occupants out there in this facility with assisted and independent living. But Deborah Richardson, top notch, and I couldn't be more impressed with someone to come up here and start a new business like that, or offer something there for our folks that need that assisted living. With that, we'll go into our other business, and the first thing that we'll do is the Ag Fair that Commissioner Richardson or Councilwoman Richardson wanted to elaborate on. So,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and just wanted to say from the Allegheny Agricultural Advisory Committee, their sincere thanks and appreciation to this board for our generous donation. The Ag Fair was a resounding success. Approximately 4,000 people attended during the weekend. I know that I was there on Saturday night. There was at least 2,000 there that night. Everybody just seemed to be having a great time. Lots of kids, lots of laughs, lots of fun. Had 65 exhibitors in the livestock show with 92 head of livestock participating in that. That's from Aaron Ray. Over 150 people had exhibits at the Ag Exhibition Building, over 250 exhibits there. So it just certainly they threw it together at the last minute, and we stepped up to help, which I think we certainly the community appreciates that, and it just shows what can happen when we have events like this that people enjoy. They will pack the house. So certainly appreciate, as Wes said, all the volunteers, but just from the Ag Advisory Committee to you guys, thank you for stepping up and helping.
once again, thank you again to all those folks out there. It's great to have our fair back. I'd like to also give a special shout out to Mikey Polier for getting the figure 8 racing organized out there. He done a fantastic job in such a short time. I know the fire department, they usually have him with the demolition derby and so on, but Mikey done a great job on that. Cole Edwards has something here in other business with the municipal vehicle tax. Cole.
Yes, I just wanted to bring some things to light that people may not realize about that tax. I know that we have received here at Town Hall a few calls regarding that tax of upset citizens. Of course, there's been scuttle on Facebook, and my name has been mentioned along with other council members. To start off, if anybody ever wants to know why I voted a certain way or why I voted against something, come and ask me. I'll tell you exactly why, and then maybe just having a conversation with me will change your mind as well. But that tax was implemented to assist us in our PAL bill funds. The PAL bill that we get funding for this year is just over $55,000. That money goes towards upkeep of our roads and our sidewalks and our right-of-ways. $55,000, if you've ever done any road work, isn't going to go a long way. If you just seen the repair in that parking lot for a small patch, $7,000. That's not going to get us a road. We have 14.4 miles of roadway to take care of. That's just the roadway. That doesn't include the right-of-way. That doesn't include the sidewalks. That averages out to about $3,800 a mile. $3,800 a mile. Again, $7,000 just went to patch a parking lot. Small little spot in the parking lot. $3,800 ain't going to get us a mile. Most recently, the road that we've paved is in 2016, we paved Jones Street. That was tar and chip, and that was in 2016, and that cost us $22,000, almost half of what we get in the PAL bill to pay for that. The whole point of this $5 municipal vehicle tax is to try to get a little help from people who don't normally contribute to taxes, and that's people who rent. So in rebuttal to some of the statements that have been made is, well, that's not fair to everybody. Well, what's not fair to everybody is people renting property and the only thing that they pay is their vehicle property tax bill. That's the only tax money we get from these folks. And if you want to go on averages of vehicles, I can't speak for everybody, but you know, if you've got a $10,000 vehicle at our current tax rate, you're going to pay $39 of town taxes on that vehicle. Again, that's not a lot. And so a lot of vehicles, mine probably included, is I'll ride it till it won't ride no more. And so I don't pay a lot of taxes on my vehicle. And a lot of people in town, if you look around at vehicles these days, they ain't paying a lot of taxes on them either. We're talking $3 or $4 for some of them. So this $5 to me, because I'm having to pay it too, I wouldn't vote for something if I didn't feel comfortable doing it myself. And $5 a year is not going to break me, I don't think. If it does, we're in trouble. But if we raise the tax rate just a penny, that would be the alternative to doing a vehicle tax. If we raised it a penny, then it's going to be raised on your house. It's going to be raised on your land. It's going to be raised on your camper. It's going to be raised on all the cars that you have. You're going to pay it across the board, and it's going to be a lot more than that $5. On a $100,000 house, if we raise taxes a penny, you're looking at $10. Double that $5 amount. Throw your car in, throw your camper in, whatever else you got, you're going to pay double, triple, even quadruple that $5. So again, I don't think $5 is a lot to ask for people to pay and chip in their share. Another example of money that was spent out of the PAL bill is clearing right of way for school buses. I think we can all agree that that's something that needs to be done, safety for school buses. $3,500 to cut limbs to clear the right of way for school buses. Salt, I think we all like having our roads salted in the wintertime. That's over $5,000. So just clearing right of way and salting our roads, two things for safety of our motorists, not to mention our kids on the school buses, two things for safety, $9,000. Again, $5 isn't a lot to ask. That's all I got.
Thank you, Cole. Let me reiterate something that I did last meeting also. Myself and the town manager went out and we had a member from the high country do an evaluation of our roads. And it come up to over $7 million, I believe it was, dollars to fix the town roads in the town limits. Now, again, our responsibility is the town. It is not the county. Therefore, we can't tax everybody out in the county. The only people that we're allowed to tax is those that live in the town. Those are the only people that we can do it. So when you make the comment, it ain't fair that everybody else don't do it. If it ain't because we don't want them to, it's because legally we can't do it. But we do have a proposal in at the state budget for some money to help out with our paving, our sidewalks, and all those things that the PAL bill helps out also. And I believe it's on page 692, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Mr. Mash?
620.
620. All right, so I missed it by 70. But anyway, page 620 of this year's budget, we are wrote down for $6 million more. And that's because of the work of the town manager writing this stuff up and getting it together and getting it proposed to our legislators to help us out. If we do get that money and we are able to start using that and fixing our roads, you'll see the vehicle tax go away. I am almost dead certain you will see it go away.
I'd vote against it.
Almost.
Maybe.
But that's the thing. We do have some help maybe on the way, so bear with us. At this time, there being no other business, I'll open the floor to public comment at this time. Again, you have 3 minutes. You can come up, introduce yourself. And if you have anything about the agenda or anything else that's on your mind, now's the time to come to the podium for public comments.
Hi, I'm Karen Lees. I'm not a town taxpayer, and I just want to say how much I appreciate Ron Wilmuth and this board. Your positive reinforcement of the historic preservation project just makes my heart sing, and I really appreciate Millie's a building owner, and she made the motion to approve it, and I just can't thank you enough. And I can't thank you enough for all the positive things that you do. It's just a pleasure to attend your meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. Anyone else have a public comment they'd like to make at this time? There being no further rush to the podium, we'll close our public comment. And at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into closed session, General Statute 143-318.11.
So moved.
Have a motion and I guess a second down here. And all in favor, please, show of hands. 5-0 as we go into closed session. We will be coming out of closed session and then adjourning the meeting.